The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, also known as the Amritsar Massacre, is one of the most infamous and tragic incidents in modern Indian history. It took place on April 13, 1919 in Amritsar, a city in the Punjab region of India. This event is a key moment in the broader narrative of India's struggle for independence from British colonial rule. In the early 20th century, India was under British colonial rule, and the political atmosphere was charged with rising discontent. The First World War had left the British Empire heavily indebted and anxious about maintaining control over its vast empire. In response to widespread unrest and growing nationalist movements, the British government introduced the Rowlatt Act in March 1919. Officially known as the Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act, it was designed to suppress revolutionary activities and gave the British authorities sweeping powers to arrest and detain individuals without trial. The Rowlatt Act was deeply unpopular and seen as draconian by many Indians. It allowed for the detention of individuals without trial, the arrest of suspected revolutionaries, and the suppression of political dissent. The act was perceived as a severe infringement on civil liberties and a tool to quell the burgeoning nationalist movement. April 13, 1919, was significant in the Sikh calendar as it marked the festival of Baisakhi, a day of great religious and cultural importance. On this day, thousands of people had gathered in Jallianwala Bagh, a large public garden enclosed by walls in Amritsar, to celebrate the festival and to discuss the Rowlatt Act and other grievances against British rule. The crowd was also attending a peaceful meeting organized by Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu and Dr. Satyapal, prominent leaders of the Indian National Congress, who had been leading protests against the repressive policies. At the time, the British colonial administration in Punjab was headed by Lieutenant Governor Michael O'Dwyer. Brigadier General Reginald Dyer, the military commander in Amritsar, was known for his hardline stance against the growing unrest. On the day of the massacre, Dyer, who had no prior knowledge of the gathering, saw the large crowd as a threat to public order and decided to take drastic action. General Dyer, without any warning, ordered his troops, comprised of 50 Indian soldiers armed with rifles, to open fire on the unarmed crowd. The firing began around 5:30 p.m. and lasted for approximately 10 minutes, and 1,650 rounds were fired. The troops fired directly into the dense crowd from a raised position, targeting the people who were attempting to flee or find cover. The entrance to the garden was blocked, leaving the crowd with no means of escape. The official British report estimates about 379 people were killed and over 1,200 were wounded. However, according to witnesses, the actual numbers are much higher, as many victims were reportedly trampled or suffocated in the chaos. The garden was enclosed by walls and only had a narrow entrance, which was blocked by the soldiers and became a death trap for those trying to escape the gunfire. The massacre was met with international outrage and condemnation. In Britain, while some people criticized the actions of General Dyer, many others supported his actions, seeing them as necessary to maintain order. The British government initially defended Dyer's actions, but public opinion and political pressure eventually led to an inquiry. The Hunter Commission, established to investigate the massacre, found Dyer's actions to be excessive and unjustified. Dyer was relieved of his command and retired from the army, but he was praised by some in Britain for his supposed defense of British interests. The massacre had a profound impact on Indian society and politics. It marked a turning point in the Indian independence movement, galvanizing widespread anti-colonial sentiment and contributing to the rise of nationalist leaders like Mahatma Gandhi. The event also led to a surge in Indian nationalism and increased demands for self-rule. The horror of the massacre underscored the brutality of British colonial rule and became a rallying point for various Indian political groups advocating for independence. Today, the site of the massacre, Jallianwala Bagh, is a memorial and a place of reflection. The garden has been preserved as a historical site, and it features a memorial plaque, a museum, and a memorial well where many victims jumped to escape the gunfire. The massacre is remembered annually, and it serves as a powerful symbol of resistance against colonial oppression. The Jallianwala Bagh Massacre remains a poignant chapter in the history of India's struggle for independence, illustrating the harsh realities of colonial rule and the enduring quest for justice and freedom.